they're gonna do now that SBTC has it. And you know, if this is gonna go over to Kirol, which most likely it is, you know, SBTC Esports, I do remember a Kirol very memorable performance on Varus indeed.
Yeah, it's gonna be a bit of a tricky bot lane to play into. I would not want to be the one that's tasked with playing up against Kirol and Arcano on Varus Trash. It seems like the answer from Divine is gonna be doubling down on fighting into their bot lane. Xayah Rakan, they're gonna get dominated in this lane matchup unless you can find avenues to get on top of Kirol's Varus, knock him up, go for all-in windows. But a lot of the burden would then come down to Arcano and how he plays around his lanterns, his flays to try to cancel the Rakan engage. So this bot lane matchup should be a really spicy one to look out for. Okay, I like this.
Do it. Do it, do it, do it. Knife cat, knife. Yeah! Knife cat out on the rift. Okay. Now, Rengar is a champion that I've been a huge fan of coming on, just because not only you have a lot of flexibility in build path, either you can go for a full assassination build if you are lacking in damage over the overall composition. You just need a single target threat to just nuke one person on the side of Divine Esports, which in this case could be a thing because you want to get rid of the Xayah. If you take away the Xayah, realistically, there's not that much damage out from Divine Esports because it's really reliant on skirmishing and long fights, whereas on the side of SBTC, you have a Varus that can keep opposition at range. You can constantly whittle and poke them down. So this is not necessarily the most fun composition for Xayah to be a part of. I feel like they really just doubled down into this because of the strong initiation combos that you can pair with from the Rakan, being able to charm and get multiple knockups on people, and then just really enable the rest of Divine Esports in this rift.
Yeah, well, we're going to see if they can make those adjustments indeed as we head into Game 2 of Divine Esports versus SBTC. Casters, you guys are up.
Oh god, I wasn't ready. Thank you, Mika. My name is TJ, joined by Riku. It was a lie, we were ready, and Riku, you were ready with thoughts about this draft.
I'm excited about this SBTC draft because we get to see the Thresh once more. And every single time a Thresh is locked in, you would always assume that Akino is going to roam around the map with a jungler. But we've seen the opposite 2 days ago, where instead the jungler will constantly visit the bottom lane and utilize this big pick potential coming from Akino and Kirol. Remember, that sentence into the chain of corruption is pretty deadly.
Oh, however, what if you flay quite forward in lane? Is that deadly?
I think I remember what the Jess mentioning it, that it is a possibility, but the flay timing has to be absolutely perfect for the grand entrance. So I'm excited to see how Akino is going to play around the big knockups coming from Quay on this Rakan.
We also have just kind of a weird matchup in AD carries. We were talking about this during the draft on our side, where Xayah is one of the shortest ranged AD carries in the game. Varus, not so. He's got really long arms, so it's going to be very difficult for Hope1 to make things happen if somebody else isn't engaging for him.
Yeah, it is definitely going to be a challenge. There is, though, the big thing where you have that self-peel, you have that root just for the potential punish. I feel like it's going to be very important. Oh, bullish, right?
Oh. Len has to burn flash. Coyote doesn't get the memo, goes into this fight, needs to flash away as well. Oh, flash over the wall! There's so many flashes playing through the fight. Hope1 over. Coyote already dead. Everyone at SBTC is low. Julie takes to the front line as Len dives into the back. And Len goes down as well. A double kill to TF.
Oh my word! Divine invested so much on that.
Collapsed.
Exactly. They flashed over the wall just to join the fight. And at the end, they weren't able to cash in. It is the opposite. They lost money.
There's a concept in landscape design, Riku.
I'm ready to get schooled. All right.
Called the desire path, which is where if a whole bunch of people like, do I have time for this? Mina's fighting for this Rift Scuttler. Yeah, I do. So if a whole bunch of people like walk across a lawn, you'll get a kill onto a Rakan. And it will leave like this dirt track. You know, a lot of people cut across a yard in front of a school or something. And it will leave this dirt trail that other people then follow. and that's known as a desire path. And I feel like with the amount of flashes over the wall right there, it should have like eroded the wall. Because Divine like weren't on the same page at all. They were flashing in, they were flashing out. Some of them were engaging, some of them were disengaging. They needed to get on the same page and design the landscape together.
And it was... Yeah, they were both on different pages. And I think the most awkward thing is that if you ever flash into the wall and basically dive into melee range... Okay, was that a steal? Carol! What a sneaky, sneaky Varus.
What a bastard! Oh, he gets away! Okay, alright. I was gonna lose my mind, Draco.
Same. Is able to finish off the kill before he can fly away and escape, basically. But there's just so many things going on. And I think it's really... There's just a lot, TJ. I know. I just got a landscape lesson, and we're seeing a lot of fights happening. A blue steal as well coming from Kirol. But exactly that. Divine has to be careful because, again, looking at their composition, that's 4 melees. That means easy taunts coming from the side of SBTC. I also like this dynamic as well. You know, Julie had an amazing game on the Galio earlier, or no, had an amazing Yasuo game earlier, but Julie, you know, steps back a little bit, gonna play utility, gonna set up for the team.
Yeah, whenever you're on Galio, you still do damage, but it takes a while to get going. During that early game, you're kind of a second support. We'll see how that plays out as this dragon is being picked up. SBTC will get the dragon. Divine, in the meantime, are looking for this Rift Herald, and Minas is dueling Tarnax. There's Len in the area as well, seeing if he can get in on the action.
Len?
And he might need to. Minas slows that down so much. Here comes the rest of Divine, burning their way up the river. And Siak jumps right in onto Len, dropping Len very low. Arkana misses the death sentence, but flashes over the wall with a play onto Quay. Len kiting as far back as he can, looking back into the fight, but not engaging. The rest of Divine will get away, but very narrowly. SBTC get both early objectives.
TF finds Len every single time. Firstly, towards their own Divine's Esport. Divine Esports is blue buff, and now immediately near the Rift Herald. And with that, Len can't exactly have the same space to perform and create these flashy moves as the Lee Sin. We constantly saw Len's performance during the play-ins, being able to rattle the jungle, invade constantly, get early leads, even without the help of Coyote. But this time around, SBTC, TF, basically putting Len on a tight leash. He's unable to maximize the power of this Lee Sin. And, you know, it's just basically seeing Divine Esports on a different light.
Yeah, and it's very frustrating, I think, for Divine, because they wanted to take over this early game through the Lee Sin. And that's just not going to happen unless we see something here. Good explosive cast. Kirol in trouble. Kirol dead. Len finds the kill. Now kiting away as Julie looks for the play. He'll find a big taunt and shut down Len. Julie and CF need to kite away, but CF jumps back in on the Coyote and gets rooted. Gets focused down. He's gone. Hope One finds the kill. Julie into the front lines and Hope One feather storms him. A heroic turn for Hope One, and Divine win the trading.
There you go. That is exactly what the fights that Divine Esports would love to have. This is a composition that is so good when it comes to the mid game, and the big 5v5s are going to be incredibly strong on the side of Divine, especially when Coyote finds a beautiful cast to misposition SBTC and basically catch them off guard. We also saw the knockups. We also saw the roots coming from Hope One. And if SBTC decides to go fully commit, there is that big punish potential coming from Divine.
TF and Arkano around the side onto Quay. He'll be pulled out, still able to disengage, but Julie's kind of working his way in. Hope One needs to flash to avoid it. Len and Tarnax for the counter gank. Len onto the front line, pushed away. Arkano drops the box. Quay finds a 4-man knockup. It's massive. Do they have the follow-up with the cask? No, not enough damage. They can't complete the kills. Quay dies. Len goes in, can't kill anything. Deep dive from Minas onto the front lines of Divine. Already killed Tarn, and everyone's just got to run away. They're very low on SBTC, but they will be fine.
That is the issue. We talked about very strong mid game, but also the damage portion of things is going to be a little bit lacking. So late game team fights are definitely going to be ideal. SBTC though is able to maneuver around that. They use Julie as a way to dive into the backline, or tower dive rather, and gain access to Hope 1, is able to burn a flash. And the way that SBTC maneuvers around these fights, just waiting for cooldowns, going back up, going back in, is just really beautiful to watch. Looks like SBTC is going to be prepared for the next Dragon Take, though. It's going to be Air Drake, which is extremely important when there's a Thresh, when there's a TF, when there's a Galio. There's just so much roam potential happening here and pick potential that Divine Esports has to try and deny this Air Drake.
We need to talk about this, Rika.
Yes.
This is a Cloud Drake.
Yes, it is. It's a Cloud Drake.
But not an Air Drake.
That is so
Some Avatar, The Last Airbender stuff going on here.
I don't know why. I really like the name Air Drake. That's why.
Yeah, no, but I know you know, but we just it keeps being an Air Drake. It'll be taken by SBTC. Call them the Fire Nation, I guess. They'll take a turret down bottom as well, as they're beginning to run away with this game, Rika.
Yeah, this is starting to look like complete domination coming from SBTC again. Len, come late game, it's just going to be that kick bot. He's just going to be there to try and steal objectives. Akino?
Suns the Thresh, so it's a massive waste of time. Akino survives. Taunt from Julie ties down Quay. Quay's very low. Tarnax into the front line. On to TF. Can't find the kill. He's got a blast code away. Back in with Len. It's synced up. They finally kill Akino, but it's trade for Quay. The dive keeps going up front from Coyote, and he trades for Julie. But it's 1 for 1 now, 2 for 2. An even trade for Divine. Nothing more.
Did you see how much damage Hope 1 was doing to Minas?
That was a little scary.
No, it was nothing. Unfortunately, it was nothing, TJ.
That's why I was scared. I was like, wow, this Zaya's sure not playing the game right now.
And
you could not be tapping the auto attack button and you would be doing an equivalent amount of damage.
Exactly. It was, yeah, I feel the same way. You know, it's a little bit worrying. It's a little bit scary on the side of Divine Esports, because every single time just Minas becomes this brick wall in between fights, and Hope 1 has no choice but to defeat the tank.
Defeat is an interesting word.
Okay, tickle the tank. I think that is more appropriate.
Some people like tickling. Minas is one of those people. Loves it when Hope 1 tickles him a bit. We do see Tarnax drop down bottom. Len's caught out in exactly the same place, forced to blow the kick to deliver TF over to the Rift Scuttler he was going to take anyway. He says, thanks for the ride. Getting an Uber.
Call an Uber. There it is.
Excellent service. Actually, 2 stars got kicked in the chest. I don't... Actually, pretty low rating, I think, for that one.
Yeah, I don't think it's good service. Whoop.
Quay called out here. Coyote split off as well. Quay will jump to Coyote, and Coyote's pulled out by the death sentence. He's gone. Quay's dead as well. He just didn't know it yet. He'll go down, and SBTC really running away with this one now as Minas dodges and dives onto Hope 1, and Hope 1 roots him, but is not doing any damage. Flashing into the base. TF follows. TF into stasis. TF might be dead here, but the turret aggro resets, and TF will just walk away out from underneath the turret.
Akino with the casual sidestep there, avoiding the sonic wave coming from Len. This is just complete control coming from SBTC. And we talked about this before, right? Cloud Drake, TJ. It was important for SBTC. And that is exactly why this roaming death squad of just constantly visiting, invading the jungle of Divine Esports, and always finding a kill every single time. No threats whatsoever to Kiral. Again, big pressure onto Tan X, and as well as Quay to penetrate the backline, but these choke points are so scary just because of Julie. Easy taunt. 4 melee, easy taunt for Julie. Chain of Corruptions, also very easy to connect every single one and stun everyone, and root everyone rather. So, again, Divine has to pick their fights, and possibly the Baron could be available, but they have no vision.
And they also are going to get zoned off if they start to investigate here. Minas and Akino, a devastating front line, just stalled this fight up while SBTC turned to take it. And that's enough to force Divine away. We do have Riku, a Fire Drake coming up.
Yes, it is. Oh, fight though.
Coyote called out, taunted, will be gone. Into the back lines goes the rest of the team, but nothing's going to come from it. Divine slaughtered yet again as Tarnex is guillotined. A big Featherstone Blade Caller from Hope One does damage, shuts down Julie. That's all they're going to get, though, underneath the turret. Minas finds 2 more for a triple kill in the fight, and he's still going forward. This is going to be the inhibitors gone. It's just Len left standing as SBTC clean up the regional rivalry yet again. A devastating lead, 10,000 gold over Divine.
Now this is going to be a sweet 2-0 against Divine. It's looking to be that case right now because we talked about this. Hope One doesn't have any damage at this point of the game so far, even though Divine is looking to be such a scary late game team fight composition. Len going in.
Dodging, diving. Arkano will survive this experience. The pressure here is on to Kirill, and Coyote with a flash cask will actually threaten Kirill. Trying to kill him. He can't finish it. Kirill walks away, and TF jumps into the front lines, now threatening Tarnex. Do they have the damage to turn this? Absolutely not. So they must run, and Tarnex can't, so he flashes deep to slow down the chase. A play which works, stopping SBTC from catching the rest of Divine, but still, there's 2 players gone, and Divine are still down 10,000 gold.
Now this is still a lot for Divine to handle, and SBTC now kicking in with this Baron take. Len quite far away from this if they do want to steal.
Yeah, I don't know how you play this. Vision is here. Hope One out of the Featherstorm. Quay very low. That Galio doing a ton of damage.
Len
what a death sentence
going
found
in.
by
Oh, he steals it! What?
Steals it! What was that? Len weaves his way up the river, gets in past Arkano, who's distracted by the presence of Hope One, and steals away the Baron.
I mean, it was the unexpected entrance of a Lee Sin. Usually, okay, I'm red side, I'm a Lee Sin. I'm gonna come through from the back of the Baron pit. But no, we know everybody else is pretty much zoning away the rest of Divine. Might as well go the opposite portion of the map, where I'm just gonna hide on the brush, wait till the Baron is low, go in, get the Baron.
Wow. Really
nice steal.
Just walks his way up the river, hides his time. What does that... Oh, dear Tarnex. Nice escape. That was a swag flag if I've ever seen one, Rafa.
It is pretty smooth. Swag flag. I like the term. Yeah, so what this could potentially entail, Divine gets to play another fight, possibly.
Yeah, I'm not sure if they win that, though. Coyote spends the explosive cast just to live a little longer. Quay quite intelligently waiting there to slow down the play, force attention paid towards him, and lanterning out. Death sentence from Arkano onto Coyote. Poke continues here in the mid lane, but Minas is looking for blood. He won't find it.
There's just too much damage coming from SBTC. Too much damage before the fight even starts, so that is a problem. Whenever Divine will go in, like right now.
Julie. Tarnex on to Julie. I'm not sure what the point of that is, because Julie just taunts him. There's the guillotine. Minas finds the kill. Trade on Arkano did happen, but it's support for AD carrying top lane, and Divine just have to run. Julie dives the back line. Coyote, Len running for their lives. Clay hits a massive, heroic knock-up. And I think the Baron means that SBTC can't end. They're going to have so much prile on this Elder coming up in just about 30 seconds.
Yeah, SBTC can just continue to put the pressure down. Get out, just get out. Well, not get out. Take out these inner towers. And again, you mentioned they just have so much space. Divine's chances of turning this game around, because everything else is basically already, you know, falling off. Len fell off already pretty much, just there to be an objective stealer and a kick bot. You also have Coyote as well, who's just going to get shredded down most of the time. Damage falling off already. Tarnex as well, whenever he'd go in, he's just going to get shredded down by the rest of SBTC or get greeted by Minas. Just going to out-damage and out-sustain this Jarvan 4. So it's looking pretty dicey for Divine.
Oof. Big pull from Minas. Doesn't find anything. And there's the Elder. The Water Drake up for grabs. TF on the dive. Oh, that's a big
What the
find.
damage?
Coyote's dead. And what do you do, Divine?
Sadly, just watch everything fall. They're still trying though, Divine just wanting to push the mid lane though, just to see if they can slow down the minion build-up towards the mid lane since that's already open. We'll see if they have access towards this dragon.
Got to be a heroic steal. Len looking for a way to weave his way through. He's too late.
Kick.
Len can't make the play. He'll kick Arkano and just try and escape. In the meantime, Minas cleans up Hope 1. Len running for his life, chased by Minas, will likely get away. But then in this time, oh dear, SBTC finds the kill. But in this time, SBTC are just running down the mid lane. Stasis, good job, Len. Over the wall. TF can't follow. Doesn't matter though, because here come SBTC. And there's game number 2. SBTC 2-0. Divine Esports upholding.